Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Welcome all to this special session organized by the Deanship of Graduate Studies here at Qatar University in order to give us all the chance to discuss how can we use generative AI technology, in particular ChatGPT, in an ethical and responsible way as part of our daily business activities, mainly focusing on research activities. My name is Muhammad Al-Smadi, and I am the Director of the Digital Learning and Online Education Office here at Qatar University. It's a newly established office. It's been like 2 years since I joined this office, with a mission to enable the university in a way to integrate digital learning and online education as part of their teaching and learning activities. And with the advent of generative AI, it became kind of a transformative technology that we need to focus on and to find a way to adopt it as part of our teaching and learning activities, as well as research activities. On a personal level, I'm an associate professor in computer science, and my research was or is mainly covering topics related to natural language processing, and I'm focusing on Arabic language in particular, and this is why I'm talking to you today as specialized in natural language processing, as well as in technology enhanced learning. So today we will discuss together aspects of how we can integrate the responsible and ethical use of ChatGPT, generative AI in general, in our research activities in particular. So before we start with my presentation, let us first discuss together how Qatar University treats the usage of generative AI and ChatGPT as part of teaching and learning and as part of research activities. As per Article 6 in the Student Code of Conduct here at Qatar University, submitting a work that is not the individual's own production is considered as plagiarism activity. And this also includes the usage of the ChatGPT output, or the usage of ChatGPT to produce content, images, videos, programming code, and submitting this as part of your research as an original work is an activity that Qatar University is considered as a plagiarism activity. And in Article 10, which is also focusing on your level as graduate students, that the cases where the students in somehow cheat or attempt to cheat as per the points that we discussed in Article 6, this should put them to be a subject to final expulsion from their degree and program. Therefore, we should agree on this from the early beginning of this discussion, that if you use ChatGPT or any similar tool to produce academic content or research content in particular, that you will present as your own work. So you present the output that you get from ChatGPT as an original text owned by you. This is kind of a plagiarism activity and exposes you to all the disciplinary penalties as mentioned in the two articles that we presented here in the Student Code of Conduct at Qatar University. So before we start, we should also keep in mind that using ChatGPT as a tool is uh, uh, the quality of the output of ChatGPT as a tool highly depends on the question that we ask to that tool. So the more specific, the more clear our question is, the more accurate and detailed the response will be from ChatGPT. And this leads us to define together what is a prompt. So we're talking about asking ChatGPT questions. So it's kind of a chatbot tool that you can initiate a dialogue with, asking you questions to ChatGPT, and the model itself is trained in a way to reply to your answers. But you have to keep in mind that those models are trained not to answer your questions, but to generate the next word. So the way we train those models is, if we take an example, for instance, when we say Assalamu, most likely the next word that comes to your mind is alaykum. And if we say assalamu alaykum, then the next word will be wa rahmatu, and so on. So this is the way we trained those large language models. We call them language models. And as they are trained on large amount of data, then we call them large language models. Then we use them to generate text, to generate media. This is why they are called now generative pre-trained transformers, or large language models to generate text and material. The way we deal with those tools, as I told you, it's kind of a chatbot where you initiate a dialogue with that tool. And mainly, the way we instruct the tool is called a prompt. And we have to understand, before we dig deeper in this topic, what is a prompt? A prompt may consist of the following elements: a role, an instruction or a task, a question, and the context around your question, and also the context around the the context where you will use the output later on from the tool. So mainly some of those elements are optional and some of them are mandatory. So you can't prompt ChatGPT without a question or instruction. So instruction or a question are mandatory elements. But in order to be clear and specific, and to guarantee in somehow that the answer is more accurate, you have to also either tell some information to the tool about yourself, or to ask the tool to act as the role that you are expecting the tool to be. So in our case, we are researchers. So we will be asking ChatGPT to act as a researcher, or to keep in mind that I am a researcher who's going to ask the following questions. And when we say context, we need also to provide contextual information to the tool in order to help the tool find the right answer. So when you say, I am a researcher working on topic X, you are in somehow redirecting ChatGPT to focus on that role and on that topic while answering your question. Okay? And then you can ask ChatGPT using a question or an instruction, or both. And this is what we will see in the next scenarios. So let's have an example of a good prompt. As a researcher, I can ask ChatGPT with a role as a researcher. What questions should I ask myself when researching? That's also a question. And then I have to define the topic or subject that I'm researching in, and then list the questions based on their priorities. This is an instruction. So in the first part, which is in orange, I told ChatGPT that either you are a researcher or I am a researcher. Okay? You can use both, and you can also skip this part. But then you ask the main part of the prompt, which is the question. What questions should I ask myself when researching topic X? In my case, I'm asking, for instance, about natural language processing in Arabic, for instance. Or some of you maybe will be working on computing research or health related research, bioinformatics, for instance, or whatever. Then you can also specifically define the context, which is the topic or subject that you are doing the research in. Then again, I'm giving an instruction to ChatGPT that I need you to list the questions based on their priority to the research. Okay? And you can indicate, and you can see here in the output when I provided that question to ChatGPT, ChatGPT responded purpose and objective, and then what is the main goal or purpose of my research? What specific objectives do I am or to achieve, or I aim to achieve, sorry, through this research? Then went further to talk about the focus, and then the structure, and then the introduction, and then the methodology, and then the results, then the discussion, and so on. Even the style of the referencing is also included in the answer, and you can try this yourself. I will also share the slides with you all after this session, where you can try all of these questions with your own. And then again, it's very important when we write our questions to ChatGPT to indicate the role that I am representing as a researcher, or a researcher in a specific topic, which is also contextual information, the question that I need ChatGPT to answer, and some instructions like formatting the answer, limiting the answer to specific words, keep in mind to focus on the introduction part, keep in mind not to mention this and that. So all of these must be clearly identified in the prompt. Whereas if you ask ChatGPT to write literature review section for you, focusing on recent advancements, for instance, in Arabic NLP field, based on academic literature published within the last 5 years, ChatGPT is also capable to do that for you, but you have to be careful. We have to focus here on two main things. The first one is that ChatGPT is a generative model. So its main job is to generate output. But how realistic, how accurate is that output? How comprehensive is that output? This is your responsibility as a user. So you can't blame ChatGPT that it generates for you a fake result like this reference here. It says that BERT, pre-training of deep bidirectional transformers for blah, 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 blah. This was authored by Aller-Four, and it's published here. Whereas the same reference or citation, the original paper, was published by Jacob, Devlin, and the co, and it also published in the same year, the same link that was provided here as a preprint. So all the other information are correct apart from the authors. So we have to be careful because ChatGPT, as I told you, is a generative model. It generates answers anyway, but those answers are subject to inaccuracy, which we call hallucination problem. So usually those tools hallucinate a lot. Their answers are biased in somehow, and you will see different types of bias in their answers. For instance, why this paper in particular is cited here? Why not many other papers that can fit here in this part are not mentioned? Is also a type of bias because I'm in somehow as a ChatGPT model or a generative model keeps you focusing on specific research that I have access to, I'm aware of, but there are many others, good papers that I'm not aware of, that I never had the chance to read or to know about. And as a researcher, this is my responsibility, it's my job to explore literature, to classify literature, to get what is good and bad out of the available literature, and then use it to serve my research methodology, to design my research methodology, to justify and evaluate my results, to discuss my results, and then to propose future plans and activities for my research. And those are mainly the main steps every researcher is doing while researching any topic. So keep in mind that the first problem is hallucination. The second problem is bias. Third problem, whatever is generated here as a text on the left hand side or on your left hand side or on the right hand side of the screen, this content is generated by ChatGPT. If you check this for plagiarism tools like Authenticate, most likely it's going to be original. So mainly 2% of similarity will be detected. But this content is owned by ChatGPT. It's generated by ChatGPT. And you can't take it as is and submit it as your original work. So that's an act of plagiarism, as we explained before in the student code of conduct. And also keep in mind that there are also tools that are being developed, like Turnitin, for instance. It has a feature, or Zero ChatGPT, or many others. It has a feature to detect text that was written or originally written by AI. I know that according to the regulations, if we can't bring the original text, we can't sue the, the cheater in this case. But this is also part of our responsibility as a researchers. This action is a misconduct and can be subject to, as I mentioned, all the penalties that were also agreed with you once you admitted to any program as they are written in Article 6 and 10 in the document of the student code of conduct. So it's very important to know as well that ChatGPT does not hold accountability for the content created by ChatGPT. What I mean by this? So you can't use ChatGPT as a co-author for a publication because ChatGPT they has no accountability for the content they are creating. So they don't want to take the responsibility on the technology. You can't later on say, unfortunately, the results affected the group of users or participants who participated in that experiment in a negative way, and the only one we should blame is ChatGPT, because I asked ChatGPT to design the experiment. So I was told by ChatGPT to do the experiment this way. You can't do that, even if you consider ChatGPT as a co-author for your prospective publications. So keep in mind that ChatGPT is a tool that can augment your research, help you in doing research, but the responsibility and the ethical way of using the output coming from ChatGPT, it's on your shoulders as a researcher, as a user. We can see many good examples of utilizing ChatGPT. For instance, I can ask ChatGPT about the research questions based on a summary of my research. I can ask ChatGPT to suggest titles. I can ask ChatGPT to give me keywords. I can ask ChatGPT to format my references from one style to another. I can ask ChatGPT to analyze my data. I can ask ChatGPT to help me discuss my results. I can ask ChatGPT to format my output in different ways: a table, LaTeX format, format the output in the style of IEEE or Springer or whatever. So those are acceptable ways of using ChatGPT. But if you ask ChatGPT to write a section or a research summary or an abstract or whatever on behalf of you, and you submit that part as an original text owned by you, then that's a kind of plagiarism. Okay? So just to help you, I summarized here kind of a 5-step cyclic framework to use ChatGPT in research. It starts with asking the right question, then verifying the information, revise your prompts. Keep in mind that the originality of the text that you are using from ChatGPT is critical, and never forget to disclose that you use ChatGPT or cite ChatGPT in specific cases. That's what we will see in our next slide. So let's start with the first step, asking the right question. As I explained in my previous slides, it's very important that we ask clear, specific questions, direct to the point, and to give enough contextual information to ChatGPT in order to guarantee that the output goes in line or up to my expectations, or I can receive the right, accurate answer out of ChatGPT. As I told you, the output of ChatGPT could be also hallucination, could be also inaccurate, could be also not comprehensive, biased in somehow. So you have to be careful. It's your responsibility as a user, as a researcher, to verify the information that you get back from ChatGPT. So whatever I receive as an output from ChatGPT, it's my responsibility as a researcher to double check that output. And how can I double check that output? If I am a researcher, you have to research and check, read the original paper, read the literature, make sure that what you get from ChatGPT is up to your expectations and what you are looking for. Mainly, it's not biased. Mainly, it's not hallucination. Then, if you're not satisfied with the answer, mainly you have to revise your prompt. And that's one of the main approaches for prompt engineering. It's called chain of thoughts. What I mean by chain of thoughts, don't start in most of your cases with a direct question from the first time. So if I plan to ask a question about sentiment analysis, which is an application of natural language processing, I will ask more of a general questions at the beginning about artificial intelligence, natural language processing, what is special about sentiment analysis, or if I am focusing on Arabic, for instance, I will ask questions related to the challenges in sentiment analysis for Arabic text in particular. Then I will ask my final question, which is the main prompt that I plan to ask. So revising your prompt is a very important action that you have to keep in mind in order to activate all the required knowledge in ChatGPT and to get finally an accurate answer. So as a dialogue tool, most of the time there is a miscommunication, there is a misunderstanding from the tool to what you are asking for. Okay, so I need to revise my question to the tool in order to tell it frankly what I'm asking for, directly what I'm asking for. I don't need to receive a general answer and then spend a lot of time evaluating that answer, or take it as is and submit it, and then it will not go through in the application that I'm using the answer in. Originality is critical. As I told you, it's our responsibility to utilize what we are getting from ChatGPT. Copying and pasting from ChatGPT is an act of plagiarism. You can't also rely on the answer as is. You have to make sure that what you are getting is correct. And then after that, you can or you must disclose in the disclosing section or whatever, in the acknowledgement, as part of your research papers, that you have used ChatGPT for specific activities, and never ever cite ChatGPT unless you are submitting a paper about using ChatGPT in this work. So rather than that, you just need to disclose in the acknowledgement section or in the research statement that you utilize ChatGPT for this and that activity. But always keep in mind that you can't take the output as is, copy and paste that output in your final document. With this, I will close the framework and also my presentation, and I'm available for your questions if you have any questions. Thank you. Questions? Ustadha Jumana, are you here?
عم شوف إذا كاتبين شيء شكلهم ما عندهم أسئلة الطلاب.
Any questions?
نعم في سؤال دكتور الله يعطيك العافيه.
تفضل.
السلام عليكم. يا
عليكم السلام.
دكتور نزي، ففي مرات استعمل الشات جي بي تي، يعني فور اكزامبل تشتغل ريفيو I read the paper, I point out the most important parts in this paper, put it in the points, okay, I write my paragraph, then sometime I go for the ChatGPT just to check my grammar.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
And sometime to improve the fluency of the paragraph.
Fine.
This
Fine.
one
But
wrong
you
or
have,
right?
yeah, but you have to disclose that in the acknowledgement section. So you must say frankly that you have used ChatGPT to enhance the writing style, or maybe to check the grammar of my writing.
Okay.
This must be frankly indicated in the acknowledgement section.
Okay. Have I to specify the specific paragraphs? Because I'm not using it for all my papers.
Yeah, you can say, for instance, in the abstract section, in the introduction section, and so on. But again, this if and only if you wrote and you own the original
Yes,
text.
yeah. Totally, it is my writing. Okay.
Fine, that's it.
But
That's it.
sometimes
That's it.
I wanna.
It's the same if you go to the writing office, and I believe Jumana is
Proofreading
proofreading. You can ask the deanship. I know, I'm sure that they have similar services. All of the researchers can go there and ask for proofreading and enhancing the readability of their publications
Yes,
before
exactly.
submitting their
Yeah.
publications. So if you have the original text,
Yes.
and if you own that original text, there going to be no problem. But the problem is if you go and ask frankly ChatGPT, I need you to write this and that for me, and then you use it as an original text. This is the only problem.
No. I have tested this way. I found there is so many mistakes. Even they refer for the fake reference. One times I'm searching for the specific topic. For example, there are things vibration axial absorber. I rated this one. I'm looking for this type of papers, even for the old. They give me more than 5 papers, but all of them fake.
I mean,
So,
fine. I mean, that's clear. I told you, with the limited version of ChatGPT, like the free version, ChatGPT does not generate accurate references for you.
yeah,
And if this service is available in the in the other one where you buy the service in the enterprise version, still keep in mind that why those references in particular I have to cite. So as a researcher, it's not the first come, first served. So the first
yes,
reference I see, I have to cite. No. I need to read and evaluate the literature,
exactly,
then focus mainly on the most important
exactly,
publications to be cited in my publication.
exactly,
Okay,
yeah,
this work will never ever happen in ChatGPT, or even in social media technology, or in technology in general, because they in somehow try to give you a bubble where you have to live in. You have to think outside of that box. You have to go outside of that box. And this problem also we face, for instance, in YouTube. If you keep following only the recommended, like YouTube videos from YouTube, you will find yourself at the end only watching what YouTube is want you to watch.
yes,
Okay,
exactly,
so
yeah,
it's the same problem in this in both technologies. So it must be clear that we own the original text. I used ChatGPT in a responsible way just to enhance my writing, just to evaluate the grammar,
exactly,
and to make sure that the quality of my writing is up to the community expectations.
exactly, yeah.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
actually, I have used when I search for the specific topic, I use the Bard and ChatGPT. Both of them give me the fake reference.
Yeah,
Thank you, Professor. Thank you a lot.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Bye.
Any questions? So if I ask you the question as the researchers, how many of you are frequently using ChatGPT? You can raise your hand. So only three of you are using ChatGPT or any other generative AI tool? Okay. So for those who are using ChatGPT frequently, do you have any recommendations to your peers? I mean, from your experience, that if you want to get the right answer, it's the best way that you try this. I tried it this way and it went fine with me. And do you have anything to report? Don't be shy.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. يعطيك ألف عافية, Dr. Muhammad. This is Munya from DLS.
Please.
Thank you so much for this session. Very, very important, very interesting. And I'm using ChatGPT, and I would like to invite everybody to attend my session today at 3 o'clock, because we are going to explore further other AI tools. Because as you mentioned, ChatGPT will give you whatever you ask for. And for research, there are so many different tools that are out there, depending on what you want to do. So ChatGPT is great to chat with, to have information, develop ideas, to develop knowledge on a specific topic, having outlines. But if you want accurate references, 100%, never use ChatGPT, because it will actually create references. So there are other tools out there that we are going to explore this afternoon to find references, to find informations that you like, specific informations in journals, in articles. So yeah, please do come this afternoon at 3 o'clock, inshallah.
Perfect, Munia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other ideas to share, or maybe questions before we close this session? We have like 10 to 15 minutes left. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, and thank you for the Deanship of Graduate Studies for having and inviting me here. I mean, you can reach out to me through the email that appears on the screen, and also I kindly ask you to follow the office on social media, where you will learn more about the activities that the office is doing for the university in general. Jumana, the mic is back to you. So thank you so much.